Hi everybody, it's Liam, and today I want to talk about how skill impacts your testing procedures. So I'm going to give you two examples here. With the first one, let's imagine we're assessing the stretch shortening cycle and your elasticity in a squatted position jumping up. So let's say we have test 1, which is a standing vertical jump and then an approach jump, and then test 2, which is a standing vertical jump and a depth jump. So the thing is, with an approach jump, there's going to be a big skill component in terms of, how many hours you spent jumping, basically your jump experience throughout your life. And that's going to impact the number you get there. Whereas with the depth jump, it's going to be a little bit more consistent because there's less skill involved in it, right? You're just jumping off a box, down and jumping up. And it's a little bit easier to kind of get the hang of it, right? Furthermore, when you retest, if you're looking for more physical adaptation, so, in the tendons, in the muscle fibers, you're going to get more consistent data, right? Because there's not going to be a skill component to it. Maybe we test the approach jump month 1 and then we retest it. Did they get more elastic? Did the stretch shortening cycle get better? Or are they just better at jumping now? Whereas with the depth jump, we'll get a better picture of that, right? Another example could be basing your training off of 40-yard splits. So you basically would set up timing gates and then see how fast you're accelerating towards the cones and then make some decisions based off of that. So if you're using that to inform your training, it's going to be heavily based off of how good you are at actually running, how good you can accelerate out of a 3-point stance and stuff like that, right? So you might not get a full picture of that. It might make more or less sense though based on the population you're working with. For example, if you have a ton of world-class runners, they're already all going to be amazing at sprinting, and they're probably not going to make that many technical changes within, that short period from test to retest. So that can make more sense there. But for certain categories of people who have less skill with it, or it isn't something they do all the time in their sport, it can make less sense, right? Same thing with the jumping. If you have a ton of world-class jumpers, the technique probably isn't going to change that much, but the depth jump is going to give us a little bit more consistent data, especially based on the physical traits we need to build. But with all of that being said, of course we're still going to test, the 40, of course we're still going to test the approach jump, of course we're still going to test the 100 meter because we care about increasing those metrics, right? But understanding that relationship is still going to be really important for our decision-making process, and I hope these examples kind of helped you understand a little bit more. With that being said though, it is really important to incorporate skill into our testing procedures so we can see how they're actually applying the physical qualities that they have, right? So you need to manage that relationship, find the balance. For example, one test I like to do, it doesn't really give me, too consistent data or anything too quantifiable, but, just a 10 meter by 10 meter space, just tell the athlete to be as agile as they can. Show me what your cuts look like. And you can read a lot into that in terms of what they need to work on by just watching their movement, right? And not everything needs to come out with a number, but when we are looking for a number, especially based on a physical trait, we want to try to make the data consistent. But like I said, figure out how to manage that for you, figure out how to set up your own testing procedure. I hope this helped you a little bit. Like, comment, and follow if you're new.